12 variants of the new generation CX-5 that are available to choose from. The Touring 2.5-liter petrol model is the one all bores and I thought offered the best blend of the desirables you might want in your new family SUV when we put each different variant through its paces in our earlier video. It's a new derivative, one that was added to fill the gap between the Max Sport and GT models when the new generation model arrived in March 2017. The Touring was the sweet spot, we thought, because of its pricing and equipment levels, ducking in under the elusive psychological barrier that is the $40,000 mark, at least on list pricing for the 2.5-liter petrol all-wheel drive model. Just like the base model CX-5, which is comprehensively equipped with safety tech, the Touring has blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, low-speed autonomous emergency braking in drive and reverse, handy items whether you're in town or out on the open road. In the previous generation of the CX-5, its packaging wasn't as good as it could have been. That's been improved this time around, with a better use of space in the cabin, including a boot that is now about 10% bigger than it used to be. The new boot space is 442 liters, where it was 403 liters. And every CX-5 features a clever 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds rear seat folding mechanism, with pull levers in the boot area to drop them down easily. The back seat is about the same as it was before in terms of space, with less room than the best SUVs in the class. It lacks the clever sliding rear seat that some rivals have, meaning that taller occupants may feel a bit squished for knee room. Headroom and tow room is fine, though, and rear seat occupants in this model will appreciate the rear seat air vents, which you don't get in the base model, and the quick charging USB points in the back. Up front there are two more USB points, but they're trickle charge ones, not the higher output seen in the back. It's properly annoying if you're running low on juice. You might find yourself running a long cable from the back seat to the front to get the quickest charge possible. The front cabin isn't vastly different to the previous model, in that it is a well-presented and nicely designed space, this time with more of a focus on storage than before. There are bigger door pockets all around, a decent center console area with those two sluggish USB points. You don't get heated seats, nor is there electric adjustment for the front seats. The MZD Connect media system remains a bit hit and miss. It is brilliantly intuitive to use thanks to the rotary dial, but the system can be glitchy, like when you end a phone call and your music blares at you when you hang up, as we had happen a few times. It's worth remembering, too, that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity remain absent from this new generation Mazda. The new model is a little bit heavier than its predecessor, due to the fact it's larger, but there hasn't been too much of a penalty in terms of fuel consumption. The 2.5 claims usage of 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, just 0.1 of a liter more than before. As we've found with Mazdas in the past, their normally aspirated engines tend to be pretty close to claim, provided you don't stay in that sport mode too frequently. The all-wheel drive system is an on-demand unit, meaning there are sensors that detect if there's a need for extra traction at the rear axle. In normal running, the car will default to front-wheel drive. There's something to be said for the assuredness that sort of system gives you. If you need to drive on a slippery grassy slope, you can. If you're worried about a heavy downpour and how that'll affect you, you needn't be concerned. And because there are so many kilometers of unsealed roads around the nation, there's some peace of mind that comes with it. And while the higher spec models have bigger wheels that may look nicer, there's a slight penalty to pay in terms of ride comfort. The previous CX-5 was a little sharp for some tastes, and while the new model offers improved comfort, it still doesn't deal with sharp-edged bumps as well as some of the more composed models in the class. We're thinking the Volkswagen Tiguan, Kia Sportage, and Hyundai Tucson, specifically. The amount of road noise intrusion into the cabin is lower than it was previously, which is good, but it's still no beacon of silence on a coarse chip surface. The steering is one of the things that gives the Mazda its unique feel on the road. It is quick and accurate at speed, and while it can weight up a little oddly at times, when you're braking from speed and turning into an intersection, for example, It is generally very well sorted, and light enough at parking speeds to make easy work of those situations.